Hi YouTube, and this is JTrain997 back with another G.I. Joe The Rise of Cobra review, and this time my Wallace Ripcord Weems Reactive Impact Armor. In the Reactive Impact Armor. So, of course, this is the second Ripcord figure we've gotten. The first one being his accelerator suit, and we're getting a third one in the upcoming Wave 5, which is Jungle Assault Ripcord. But he comes in his Reactive Impact Armor, just like the Duke previously released in his Reactive Impact Armor. Comes with a knife, looks like several assault rifles, 3 assault rifles, a handgun, and his base, and his oversized missile launcher, which actually looks to be the, if you played the Rise of Cobra video game, every character had a special power or ability, and his was to release this little gun drone, and it actually looks like all 3 pieces are there to make the gun drone, so that would actually be not a horrible giant rocket launcher, if that's what it is. But onto the back of the package, all the other characters in the wave. His file card says, Military Pilot Wallace Ripcord Weems trains with the G.I. Joe team's Reactive Impact Armor before infiltrating Cobra bases. He masters the operation of the team's remote stealth mini-drone that transmits real-time visual and auditory data. Preferred weapon, 820 Selective Fire Long-Range Fully Automatic Assault Rifle. So, I usually don't get excited for Ripcord, but this guy actually looks pretty cool. Let's pull this bad boy out of the packaging. And here he is out of packaging. Now, let's get a quick 360 of this guy. I have him holding his assault rifle and his handgun, as well as I have his knife in his pouch sheath. It did come out a little bent, disappointingly, but I'm not a huge fan of these knives, so that doesn't bother me all that much. So, really quick before we get into this review, I just wanted to show a quick comparison to Reactive Impact Armor Duke, because you can see I have them both in the same pose. It's the same figure. It really is. The same little belt around the waist. As you can see, they came packaged with the same guns. There's a knife sheath on either one. But what really sets these apart, is the accessories. Now, granted, he does come with the same 2 guns, but unlike Reactive Impact Armor Duke, he also comes with his oversized rocket launcher, he gets his drone, which I was right, it is the drone from the video game, which comes in 3 pieces, all of which are easy enough to connect. You just snap them in, and boom. There's your drone. Of course, it rotates once it's in here, and you press the top button, boom, fires. So yeah, this is a really great accessory. It looks great by Ripcord, in my opinion. So, great figure. Of course, I'm pulling these out real quick. Now we get to his other 2 weapons, which he came with. His oversized machine gun and assault rifle. Really awesome looking guns. So let's put these bad boys in his hand real quick. Now, I did try to pose these a little bit earlier, and you will notice that neither of these guns fit in his hand well. Now, that's not to say they can't fit, but there's a lot of issues getting them to fit. A lot of poses require him to be a certain way. Oops, he popped off the pegs. There's some really, they're just so big that a lot of poses don't work with him. And once they're in, you have to be really careful as far as moving the figure. But when all said and done, you can get him in there. Okay, so pulling his guns out of his hand. Of course, his base, standard Joe base. His articulation is the same. Unlike Reactive Impact Armor Duke, he's a little bit stiffer at the arms than I remember Reactive Impact Armor Duke being. Other than that, he has the same free movement. No hindrance whatsoever. So, Ripcord, a lot of people didn't want this guy because they're like, oh, we've already got a Ripcord and this is just a repaint of Duke. I can buy them repainting this guy because, it is the standard Joe armor, this is what they wear. And really there's enough differences in accessories and guns to recommend picking up Ripcord on his own. Now, I do think a little more time needed to be paid as far as him holding his larger weapons, because they're really the bread and butter of this figure, is the fact that he comes with all these cool guns that we haven't gotten before, at least not in the Rise of Cobra line. And as you can see here, he has some big issues holding them. But as far as Ripcord figures, of course, this is the second one we've got as compared to Accelerator Suit Ripcord. I thought this figure was okay, not fantastic. And it really wasn't a very good Ripcord figure because, just like I mentioned in its review and the Duke review, once this helmet is closed or on, you can't tell this is Ripcord. It's just a guy in an accelerator suit. I could take this figure off its base and put it on any other base, and you couldn't argue that that isn't the same character in the accelerator suit. So overall, if you got to get a Ripcord figure, I haven't gotten Jungle Ripcord yet. I have him ordered. This guy's great. Has a great posability. A little stiff in the arms, more than Reactive Impact Armor Duke, but comes with some really cool accessories. Even the oversized rocket launcher, which is a big deal for me because I usually hate these things. So this is JTrain 997. I'd give the Reactive Impact Armor Ripcord an 8.5 out of 10. And without further ado, this is JTrain 997 saying I'll see you soon, YouTube.